Alright, friends, what's cracking? Welcome back, of course, to Babylon Talmud. Today we're going to learn Daf Tesvav of Masechta Berachos. Now, this one's a little bit of a brain twister, so we are going to be going slowly, friends. We're going to be going slowly. Sorry if you want to go quickly, but we're going to go slowly. But without further ado, let's get started. So we're going to get started on Daf Yud Daled Amud Beis, on the very final line of the Daf, and here goes nothing. Okay, so what if a person wants to completely accept upon himself the yoke of the kingdom of God, of heaven? So Yifne v'yitol yadav v'aniach tefillin v'yikra kriyas shema v'yispalel. So what should you do? So Yifne, you should go to the bathroom, you should defecate, you should go number 2 in the bathroom. V'yitol yadav, and then you should wash your hands. Good advice. But it's probably referring to negel Wasser. V'aniach tefillin, and then he should put on tefillin v'yikra kriyas shema, and he should then read kriyas shema v'yispalel, and he should daven that v'zohi malchus shemaim shlema. This is the complete kingdom of heaven package. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Kol nifne v'noto yadav, anybody who goes to the bathroom and then washes his hands, umaniach tefillin, puts on tefillin, v'kor kriyas shema mispalel, mala olav hakasav kilu bana mizbeach v'ikriv olav korban. Oh, so anybody who does this prescription of malchus shemaim shlema, it's as if he built a mizbeach, an altar, and he offered on it a sacrifice. That sounds really nice. The chsiv, as it says, erchatz b'nikayun kapai v'asovva es mizbachacha Hashem, that I will wash my hands clean, and then I will surround your mizbeach, God. So, zeu, okay. Amalei Rava. So then Rava said to, who is this? Rabbi Bar Chana? No, Rabbi Chia Bar Abba. Lo savar lamar ki'ilu tava? Don't you assume that anybody who goes to the bathroom, washes their hands, tefillin, kriyas shema, tefillah, it's as if he went to the mikveh? Dichsiv erchos b'nikayon, right? It says, I will wash b'nikayon, in cleanliness, right? And that implies like washing your whole body. V'lo ksiv erchatz architz kapi. It doesn't say simply, I will wash my hands. It says erchatz b'nikayon kapai. So as Rashi kind of explains for us, meaning the learning is that through washing my hands, it's as if I washed my entire body, i.e. as if I went to the mikveh, which is pretty cool, right? You wake up in the morning, you get yourself together, you wash up, and it's as if you went to the mikveh. Fine. Amalei Ravina the Rava. So Ravina said to Rava, Chazimar haitzubim rabbanan dasim v'arava v'amar. Did you see this hotshot rabbi who came from Israel, and he said the following: Misha ein lo mayim lirchot yadav mekaneach yadav ba'afar u'v'tzor u'v'kismis. Right? That he said that anybody who is unable to wash his hands with water, so he can just clean his hands with anything that he can, right? Whether it's get some dust and rub your hands together, uvitzor, get a rock and use that to clean off whatever's on your hands, uvikismis, or some kind of wood chips. But whatever it takes to get your hands clean, that will work. So Amalei Shapikam, and Ravina said, yeah, he's taka saying a good thing. Miksiv erchaz b'mayim, doesn't say that in the pasuk. It doesn't say I will wash my hands in water. B'nikayon ksiv, it says I will wash them clean. So kol midi minake, anything that it will take to clean your hands. Deha Rav Chizda layit aman demahader amaya b'inen slosa. That Rav Chizda would curse somebody who would, when it was time to daven, he would say, wait, I need to wash my hands, right? V'hanimi the kriyas shema aval tefillah mehader. But this is only by kriyas shema, right? That when it comes to Zman kriyas shema, we have a specific time to read kriyas shema. So then don't, I can just kind of see this, right? Somebody who's so makpid to wash his hands before saying kriyas shema that he ends up, losing the big picture, was that he's going to miss Zman kriyas shema, which is way more important than washing your hands. So Rav Chisda was not into people, getting too excited about finding water for kriyas shema. But for tefillah, he would advise to get water. And as Rashi says something pretty cool, right? The last wide line of Rashi at the top, that the entire day is Zman Tefillah, which is super interesting. Then, of course, there's like a note that says, wait, don't get carried away. But super interesting that Rashi says, that, but tefillah, since all day you can pray, so then, yes, do go looking for water. Vad kama, how far do you have to go looking for water, right? If you're somewhere where you don't have water to wash your hands, like, do you have to travel like 30 miles to find water? So ad parsa. So until a parsa. Now, a parsa is 8,000 amos. 8,000 amos would be about, let's say, 12,000 feet, which is about, like 2 miles, a little bit more? So v'hani mile likame. Now this is in front of you, right? If, let's say, you're traveling, you're on the highway, and it's zman kriyas shema, zman tefillah, right? And you want to daven, but you also want to wash your hands. So you don't have water right now. So you figured, so let me just, travel a little bit further on the highway for another 2 miles. And if I get a rest stop in the next 2 miles, then I'll go get water. Avala achore, but to turn around and say, oh, there was a rest stop behind us, should we turn around and go to that one? Right, so afilu mil eno chozer. You don't have to go back even a mil. Now, a mil is a quarter of the size of a parsa. It is 2,000 amos, which is about, like 3,000 feet. So what's that, like, 5/8 of a mile or something? So then, so to turn back, you don't even go a mil, umina, mil hude eno chozer, apachos mi mil chozer. But the implication being that, you don't have to go more than a mil, but if like mamish, you just passed by, let's say, a rest stop, and you can get water over there to wash your hands, so it would be advised to turn back, go to that rest stop quick, and then go back to what you're doing. Exciting. This is where things begin to get complicated. So put your thinking caps on, put your finger on the pause button, and let's go. Now there's a note here that adds Divrei Rabbi Yehuda. We're going to read it with that note because Rabbi Yehuda is going to be all over the show. So if somebody reads Kriyat Shema and he doesn't hear what he's saying, Yatsa, and that is Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Okay, fine. Rabbi Yossi Omer lo yatsa. Rabbi Yossi says he is not yotzei. If he doesn't hear what he's saying, when he says Kriyat Shema, does not work. Kara v'lo diktek bos yosel. If he read Kriyat Shema, but he wasn't really so medaktek on the words that he was saying. He was mumbling some of the words. He didn't really say them very clearly. Rabbi Yossi Omer yatsa. So here Rabbi Yossi is being more lenient and he's saying yotzei, that's fine. Rabbi Yehuda Omer lo yatsa. Here Rabbi Yehuda is being more strict and he's saying you are not yotzei if you don't clearly pronounce the words. Hakor l'mafreya lo yatsa. Somebody who reads the words of Kriyat Shema out of the proper order, not yotzei. Kar v'ta yachzor l'makom sheta. If you read Kriyat Shema and you made a mistake, I guess at some point, I don't know what the mistake, maybe you skipped a word or whatever, so go back to the place, where you messed up and take it from there. Okay. In order to understand this next Gemara, there are two things that we have to make sure that everyone is on the same page about. And this is lichatchila and b'di'eved. Lichatchila means the proper way to do something, right? B'di'eved means that you did something. B'di'avad literally means if you had already done it. So that's talking about situations where you did something wrong, but the fact of the matter is you already did it. So do you have to go back and do it again, or can we work with it? Okay, so lichatchila is the proper way that you should be doing something. B'di'eved means like you really shouldn't do it this way, but if you already did it, then what? If you're not yotzei even b'di'eved, then that means that even though you already did it, it doesn't work. But sometimes if we say that you're yotzei b'di'avad, it means that we don't recommend that you would do it that way. But if you already did it, so then it's okay. You don't have to repeat it. It works. Okay, moving on in the Gemara now. My time with Rabbi Yossi. Okay, how come Rabbi Yossi says that if you read Kriyat Shema and you do not hear what you said, so then you are not yotzei? And we'll talk about in a minute if that's the lichatchila or b'di'eved. Mishum dichsev shema, because the pasuk says shema, listen. Hashmea le'oznecha ma'ashata motzei mipicha, right? Or I think hashma maybe, right? Make sure that you hear that what you are saying. And if you don't hear that what you're saying, so then you're not yotzei. The Tanakama savar, whereas the Tanakama, who is Rabbi Yehuda, holds Shema b'chol lashon shata shemeh. What he learns out from Shema is in any language that you want to hear it. Okay, fine. Rabbi Yossi tarti Shema mina. Rabbi Yossi learns out both of these things from the word Shema, both that you have to hear it and that you can learn it, that you can read Shema in any language. Now, of course, I'm sure some people are thinking, I thought we don't learn out two things from one word. That's correct. But what's interesting about this is that, and I actually even thought about this the other day when this came up with the Machlokas Chachamim and Rebbe. But the point is, like, once already you learn Shema means that you can read Shema in any language that you can hear it, well, doesn't that already, in order to make that already implies that you're hearing it, okay? So Rabbi Yossi says like, no, that it just kind of, both of those just kind of come together, right? In order to say that you can read it in any language that you can hear it in, that also means that you're hearing it. So in this case, they just kind of, you can't really have one without the other, so you learn out both things from that word. Okay, you're probably thinking, but I'm not confused yet. Good. Tanan Hassam. Here's where things get exciting. We learned in a Mishnah in Trumos. Cheresh hamedaber ve'eno shomea. Okay, a deaf person who can speak. Now, of course, he can't hear what he's saying because he's deaf, but he can speak. So, okay, this is already getting familiar, right? If you read Kriyat Shema and you don't hear what you say, are you Yotzei or not? So by Truma now, we're talking about, we talked about Truma, of course, in the first year. It's the 2% tithe that you take from your field and you give to a Kohen, okay? So anyways, and you make a bracha when you separate that tithe. And we're saying if you have somebody who is able to speak but he can't hear what he's saying, so lo yitrom. So lichatchila, he should not be doing Truma because he has to make a bracha. And we're saying that we want you to hear the bracha that you're saying. V'imtaram truma so truma. But what if he did do truma, i.e., he separated truma, he said the bracha, but he wasn't able to hear the bracha? It works bidi avad, right? V'imtaram, if he already did it, if he already did the truma, it works bidi avad. So man tana cheresh hamadaber ve'eno shomea di'eved in lechatchila lo. So who between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi, who would be the one to be the author of this Mishnah, who that is saying that when you have this person who can speak but not hear, so lichatchila he should not be separating truma, but b'di eved, if he separated truma, it works. Okay. Amar Rav Chisda Rabbi Yossi. So Rav Chisda said Rabbi Yossi is the Tana of that Mishnah. Now, 1 second. Didn't Rabbi Yossi say in our Mishnah that if he reads Kriyat Shema and he doesn't hear it, he's not Yotzei? So why is he saying that he's Yotzei by the Truma? So Ditnan, as our Mishnah says, Hakori es Shema v'lo ishmiya le'ozno, Yotza divrei Rabbi Yehuda, that in our Mishnah we said that somebody who reads Kriyat Shema and he doesn't hear it, he's Yotzei according to Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yossi omer lo Yotza, and Rabbi Yossi, of course, he said he's not Yotzei, but Ad kan lo ka'amar Rabbi Yossi lo Yotza elegabe Kriyat Shema de'oraisa. Rabbi Yossi is only going to say that he's not Yotzei when he doesn't hear what he's saying. Sorry about the double negative there. But Rabbi Yossi only says that by Kriyat Shema he's not Yotzei because Kriyat Shema is mideoraisa. So because it's mideoraisa, it's from the Torah, so therefore, we want to make sure that he hears what he says, right? And if he doesn't, he's not Yotzei at all. About Truma, but when it comes to Truma, mishum brachahu, the issue with Truma is just the bracha, right? Meaning when you separate the 2% of the field, you're done. You did the mitzvah of Truma, you're done. The Rabbanan said to make a bracha when you do it, and we're getting fussed about the bracha, if you hear yourself on the bracha or not, but the bracha is only midrabanan. Uvracha derabanan, v'lo bebracha talya milsa. Truma is not dependent on the bracha. Truma is dependent on separating the truma. And he separated the truma, so he's yotzei. In terms of the bracha, which is derabanan, beseder, it's not ideal that he can't hear himself, but if he didn't hear himself, he would be yotzei. Zeu. So we're saying that Rabbi Yossi is the author of that Mishnah in Trumos. So over here by Kriyat Shema, he says that you are not Yotzei because it's midoraisa. But over there we could say that Rabbi Yossi would say that he would be Yotzei by Truma because we're just concerned about the bracha, and the bracha is derabanan, and it's not really ultimately going to affect whether or not he's Yotzei Truma. Now the Gemara says, Umimai Rabbi Yossi. Why are we saying that this Mishnah in Trumos is Rabbi Yossi? Dilma Rabbi Yehuda he. Maybe it's Rabbi Yehuda, because after all, Rabbi Yehuda is the one who says that if you don't hear yourself when you say Kriyat Shema, you're Yotzei. So let's say that by Truma also, we're saying that you're Yotzei. It says by Truma that L'chatchila, he shouldn't be separating Truma if he can't hear himself. So say the same thing by Kriyat Shema, that when Rabbi Yehuda says that you're Yotzei by Kriyat Shema, it's Bidi Eved. Ideally you should really hear what you're saying. But if you don't, you're Yotzei, and that's what Rabbi Yehuda is saying. And by Trumas, he's saying the same thing. L'chatchila, this guy should not be separating Truma, but if he does, he's Yotzei. Ve'amar gabe Kriyat Shema nami de'eved in l'chatchila lo. And he's saying that exact thing by Kriyat Shema, that l'chatchila, you should hear what you're saying, but if you don't, so then you're Yotzei b'di eved. Fine. And Teda. And the Gemara says, and it actually makes a lot of sense to say that this is Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, just by reading the words. De katane, as the Mishnah says, hakore, the Mishnah uses the word hakore. It doesn't say in Kriya Shema velo mashmiin lo whatever to our ears, right? It doesn't say that the way to read Kriya Shema is that you should not hear what you're saying. It doesn't say that. It says hakore. Somebody who read Kriya Shema and didn't hear what he said, Rabbi Yehuda says that you're Yotzei, meaning even just the wording of the Mishnah sounds like it's a b'diavad thing. So it makes a lot of sense to say that Rabbi Yehuda, when he says Yotzei, it only means b'diavad, and this Mishnah in Trumos is Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, as it says hakore, which implies diavad in lichatchila lo, that you really only Yotzei b'diavad, and that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. Now the Gemara says no. For some reason, the Gemara does not want to say that this Mishnah in Trumos is Rabbi Yehuda. They would prefer to say that it's Rabbi Yossi for some reason, and to say that our Mishnah, which is by Shema, which is Midoraisa, that's where he says that you're not Yotzei, but by Truma, which is Derabanan, you would be Yotzei. So Ami Haidi Katani Hakore, no, don't try to bring me a proof that the word Hakore, even just sounds like B'diavad, and therefore Rabbi Yehuda opinion when he says Yotzei is B'diavad. No. Actually, Rabbi Yehuda, even lechatchila, you don't have to hear what you're saying. So what's with the word hakore, which sounds like it's b'diavad? Stop focusing so much on Rabbi Yehuda. Lo diacha kocho de Rabbi Yossi d'amar diavad nami lo. Right? No, the whole b'diavad thing is to show you how far, to what extent Rabbi Yossi goes in saying that you're not yotzei, that even though you already did it, hakore, right? Hakore eshma v'lo shmiel ozno. He already read it. And he didn't hear it. What can you do? He already did it. Still, Rabbi Yossi says that you are not Yotzei. But Rabbi Yehuda would say that even the Chatchila, you really don't need to hear what you're saying. Okay, fine. Now, of course, once already we're in a confusing Gemara, the next two lines are like backwards. So what you have to say is, go to the end of the next line, which says, you have to read it out of order. B'mai ukimta Rabbi Yossi. So we're saying that our... So we're saying that this Mishnah in Trumos therefore is Rabbi Yossi, and by Kriya Shema he says that you are not Yotzei b'diavad, and by Truma he says that you are Yotzei b'diavad and still midrabanan. Now back up one more line to now read the second part that's out of order. Di Rabbi Yehuda afilu lechatchila nami yotzei, because Rabbi Yehuda would say that even lechatchila he would be Yotzei if he doesn't hear it, both by Kriya Shema and certainly by Truma. Fine. But now, okay, fine. So where we stand right now, basically Rabbi Yehuda says that you can even read Kriya Shema and not listen, not hear it lechatchila. Certainly then by Truma, which is b'derabanan, you could make the bracha and not hear it, all good. Rabbi Yossi says that by Kriya Shema, which is midoraisa, you must hear it, and if you don't hear it, you're not Yotzei. By Truma, which is Derabanan, you should hear it, but if you don't hear it, you are Yotzei. Okay, now, another thing to throw into the mix over here. Be'alahadetanya, we have a brisa in Masechta Megillah, and that brisa says, Lo yivarech adam birkas hamazon belibo. A person should not mouth the words of birkat hamazon, okay? He has to hear them. The imberech yatsa, but if he did in fact mouth the words of Birkat Hamazon and he did not hear it, he is nonetheless yotzei. So here we're in a shtickle pickle because this is mida oraisa, and we're saying that lechatchila you should hear the words, but b'di'evet, if you didn't hear the words, you are not, you are yotzei. Okay, so money, who would be the author of this brisa? Lo Rabbi Yossi, v'lo Rabbi Yehuda. It can be neither Rabbi Yossi nor Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Di Rabbi Yehuda ha'amar lechatchila nami yotza. If it's Rabbi Yehuda, we said that even lechatchila, you don't have to hear what you're saying. Yet over here it's saying, you lechatchila, you do have to hear what you're saying. I Rabbi Yossi, di eved nami lo. Now if it's Rabbi Yossi said that by things that are mida oraisa, you must hear it, and if you don't hear it, you're not yotzei. And this thing is saying that by Birkat Hamazon, which is mida oraisa, you should hear it lechatchila, but if you don't hear what you're saying, you are nonetheless yotzei. So what is so who's the author of this brisa in Megillah? So Ella Mai. So rather, what are you going to have to say? Rabbi Yehuda. Who's the author of this brisa in Megillah? We're going back to say that it's Rabbi Yehuda. V'di eved in lechatchila lo. That zeu. So this is Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, and Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that lichatchila, really, you should hear what you're saying. And b'di'evet, if you didn't hear what you're saying, you are yotzei. And that is what Rabbi Yehuda is saying by Kriyat Shema. It's what he's saying by Birkat Hamazon. And he would be the author by Truma to say that lichatchila, you should hear what you're saying by the bracha, but b'di'evet, it's okay if you don't. Okay, but we're not done yet. Elahadutani Rabbi Yehuda b'rei Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi. But now, what are we going to do with the following brisa of Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi? What's this brisa? Cheresh hamadaber beino shomea. Okay, our deaf friend, right? That he cannot hear, but he can speak. Torem lichatchila. He could separate truma even lichatchila, money. Now, who's that like? So, lo Rabbi Yehuda, v'lo Rabbi Yossi. It's like neither Rabbi Yehuda nor Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yehuda, if it's Rabbi Yehuda, what do you mean? Ha'amar di'eved in lichatchila lo. He says that you're only yotzei if you had already, done it and not heard it. But we wouldn't recommend that you can, be torim lichatchila if you can't hear what you're saying. And Rabbi Yossi ha'amar di'eved nami lo. Rabbi Yossi says that you're not even yotzei b'di'eved, let alone to say at lichatchila, you would be able to separate truma. So, ela le'olam Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, jumping back again. Okay, so really, this brisa that says that a cheresh can be torem lichatchila, that's Rabbi Yehuda. And Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that even lichatchila, you don't have to hear what you're saying, and that would be equally true by benching, it would be equally true by shema, and it would be equally true by truma. Okay, vafilu lichatchila nami, vilo kasha. Well, then what do you do with the brisa in Megillah that says that by Birkat Hamazon, lichatchila, you really do have to hear what you're saying. Only b'di'eved, if you didn't hear what you're saying, you're yotzei. Hadidei hadirabei. That brisa in Megillah is his teacher. Okay, the Tanya, right? The Gilyon changes this to the Tanya. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of his teacher, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Now, I thought that Rabbi Yehuda's teacher was Rabbi Akiva, but I guess maybe he had two teachers. Anyways, so he says in the name of his teacher, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Hakori es Shema tzarech she'ashmiya le'ozno. Right, that somebody who reads Kriyat Shema, he needs to hear what he is saying. And Shnei Emar, as the pasuk says, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Listen, Israel, Hashem is our God, Hashem is one. So you do have to hear what you're saying. And Rashi points out, V'chol tzarech, right? It's in the Dibra Maskil, Ela Rabbi Yehuda lechatchila ka'amar. It's at the very end of that Rashi. It says, V'chol tzarech lechatchila mashma, hadi'eved shapir dami. That whenever it says tzarech, that you need to do something, it implies that you should do, lechatchila, you should do it that way. But if you did it a different way, then it works b'di'eved. Okay, and let's just read on for another minute. Amar Rabbi Meir. So Rabbi Meir now said to Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Hare, and now Rabbi Meir was another person who I thought was a student of Rabbi Akiva. It could be that both Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda were both students of Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Anyways, Hareu Omer, the pasuk says, Asher anochi mitzavach hayom al levavecha. That which I command to you al levavecha, on your heart. Achar kavanas halev hein advarim. That no, it's about intention. It's about kavana. You don't have to hear it. You don't have to hear it, right? As long as you have kavana, it is fine. So far, what are the opinions that we have at this point presently in the Gemara? We have the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, and now as we just saw, also the opinion of Rabbi Meir, that you do not need to have any, you do not have to hear it at all, okay? You then have the opinion of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who says that you really should hear it, but if you don't hear it, you're yotzei. Then there's the opinion of Rabbi Yossi, who says that if you don't hear it, you are not yotzei. That was Rabbi Yossi. Okay. Now the Gemara says, wait, hashta da'asis lahachi. Once now we have Rabbi Meir's opinion, well then afilu teim Rabbi Yehuda karabe svirle. So then you can even say, okay, we don't have to say that there's the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda and the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. You could say that Rabbi Yehuda holds like his Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that when we say that you need to hear it, it's lechatchila. But b'di'eved, if you didn't hear it, it works. Okay. V'lo kasha ha-Rabbi Meir ha-Rabbi Yehuda. And therefore there are no problems, right? The brisa which says that lechatchila, you don't, right, this cheresh who can speak but not hear can be Torim lichatchila, that's Rabbi Meir. And the Brisa in Megillah, which says that ideally you should hear what you're saying when you're doing Birkat HaMazon, but if you don't, you're Yotzei, that is Rabbi Yehuda, and of course Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, because they say the same thing. Cool. So then just to reiterate one more time, the most lenient opinion being Rabbi Meir right now, who says that even lichatchila you don't have to hear what you're saying. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah say that lichatchila you should hear what you're saying, but b'di eved, if you didn't hear what you're saying, it's okay. Rabbi Yossi says that even b'di eved, if you didn't hear what you're saying, it's not okay, you're not yotzei. Very good. And if you can just remember that, you'll be in pretty good shape. I don't say 100% good shape, no guarantees here, but you'll be in pretty good shape if you could remember that. Okay. Now, Tanan Hassam. We have a Mishnah in Megillah. Hakol ksher likros es Megillah. Everybody is kosher to read the Megillah, even a shmendrik like me. Chutz micheresh shota v'katan. The exceptions being a deaf person, a shota. Literally, I don't know, maybe you could say that a fool, somebody who doesn't have limited cognitive abilities, I guess. We'll just call him a shota, vikatan, and a minor. Okay, fine. So everyone can read the Megillah except for cheresh, shota, and katan. Rabbi Yehuda machshir b'katan. Rabbi Yehuda says that a katan works. Okay, don't get too fussed about Rabbi Yehuda right now. Let's first focus on the cheresh part, which is the Tanna Kama. Man Tana Cheresh di Eved Nami Lo. So who is this teacher? Who's teaching the first part of this Mishnah, which says that a Cheresh is not able to read Megillah? Period. Even b'di Eved. So Mistama, it's going to have to be Rabbi Yossi, right? So Amar Rav Masna, Rabbi Yossi. Oh, Rav Masna raises his hand. He says, oh, I know. It's Rabbi Yossi, right? Ditnan, as we learn in the Mishnah over here in Berachos, Hakori Shema v'lo shmei le'ozno yotza. Div Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says that if you don't hear what you're saying when you read Kriyash Ma, you're Yotzei. But Rabbi Yossi Omer lo Yatza. Rabbi Yossi says you're not Yotzei. So therefore, let's say that also by Megillah, a Cheresh can't hear what he's saying. So we're saying that he's not Yotzei, even b'di'evid. Great. But now the Gemara asks, Mimai de Rabbi Yossi hi b'di'evid namilo. Why are we assuming that that this Mishnah in Megillah is saying that when we say that a Cheresh can't read Megillah, it means even b'di Eved he can't read it, which leads us to then conclude that it's Rabbi Yossi who is the Tanna Kama there. Dilma, Rabbi Yehuda he. Maybe the Tanna Kama is Rabbi Yehuda, okay? And what it's saying that he's not Yotzei is lichatchila. He's not Yotzei, right? V'lichatchila hu delo hadi Eved shapir dami. And he's saying that a Cheresh cannot read lichatchila, but b'di Eved if he reads it, it's okay. Lo sal kadaitich. Don't think that it's Rabbi Yehuda. The katani cheresh dumya the shota v'katan. That the cheresh, the deaf person, is grouped together with the shota and the katan. Ma shota v'katan di'eved namilo. Just like a shota and a katan cannot read Megillah even at all, even in b'di'eved they can't read it. So af cheresh di'eved namilo. We're saying that the cheresh, the deaf person, also can't read the Megillah even b'di'eved, and therefore it's Rabbi Yossi. Vidilma hakadisa v'hakadisa. But wait, maybe we don't have to group everybody together. Maybe we could sort of quarantine each one separately, right? So the cheresh would be, can't read it lichatchila, but b'di'eved he can, and therefore it would be Rabbi Yehuda. But in the shota and the katan, they can't even read it b'di'eved. Okay? Umimatzis leukmak Rabbi Yehuda, but that's just not an option either, because as some of you may already be thinking, how could the first part of the Mishnah be Rabbi Yehuda if the part right after that says Rabbi Yehuda machshir b'katan, clearly implying that the part right before that wasn't Rabbi Yehuda. Okay? V'hami de katani seifa, from the fact that it says Rabbi Yehuda machshir b'katan michal dereish elav Rabbi Yehuda. Right, from the fact that the second part of that price, it says that Rabbi Yehuda is machshir b'katan, obviously that means that the first part is not Rabbi Yehuda. Okay? So therefore, we're pretty much convinced that the first part of this Mishnah in Megillah is saying that a Cheresh cannot read a Megillah at all, and that is like Rabbi Yossi. But one second. V'dama kula Rabbi Yehuda. No, maybe, in fact, the entire Mishnah there in Megillah is Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, fine. Vitrei gavne katan. V'chasuri mechzu avachi katani. And there are two types of katan, and the Mishnah is just missing a few words. And if you just add a few words, you can get the following read of the Mishnah, which is Hakol Ksherin Likros Asa Megillah. Anybody could read a Megillah, even a shmendrik like me. Chutz Micheresh Shote Vikatan. The exception being a deaf person, a shote, and a small person. But when do we say that a katan cannot read a Megillah? B'katan shelo hagiya lechinuch. That's talking about a katan who has not yet reached the age where we try to educate him in doing mitzvahs. And Rashi says on the last word of the first wide line of the last wide line of Rashi, higiya lechinuch mitzvos kigon ben tesha uven eser. Right? If he got to the age where we educate him about mitzvahs, which is about 9 or 10 years old. So when we say that he can't read the Megillah, it's when he's less than 9 or 10 years old. But if he reaches chinuch, then even lechatchila, he would be allowed to read the Megillah, right? So Rabbi Yehuda machshir b'katan, because Rabbi Yehuda it says that a katan is allowed to read the Megillah as long as he has reached the age of chinuch, which means that a katan who has reached the age of chinuch, Rabbi Yehuda says is kosher, 100%, lichatchila. A katan who has not yet reached the age of chinuch, so he's not allowed to read the Megillah, lichatchila. But the evet he would be allowed to, because Rabbi Yehuda says that a katan is allowed to read the Megillah, and therefore a cheresh would be buddies with the katan in that both of them lichatchila they can't read the Megillah, but b'di'evid they would be allowed to read the Megillah, and therefore you see that we're saying that this Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda, and we're saying that lichatchila you should hear what he's saying, but b'di'evid you're yotzei even if you don't hear what you're saying. Just like a katan, lichatchila should not read the Megillah, but b'di'evid he can read the Megillah. Okay, now first wide line of the Gemara, b'mayu kimta. Right? How are you establishing this Mishnah? Rabbi Yehuda? Wait a second. You're saying that this Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda, v'di'evid in lechatchila lo, and we're saying that lechatchila a cheresh should not read the Megillah. That lechatchila a cheresh can't read the Megillah because he can't hear it, but b'di'evid if he read it he would be yotzei. And now we're going to see a whole discussion that's very similar to what we just saw in Amud Aleph. We're going to go right through the whole ringer again. So if you remember the discussion from Amud Aleph and you're able to be masader it, organize it in your head, this shouldn't be too difficult. If you were not, good luck. So Ela Hadatani Rabbi Yehuda Brei Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, but what about that brisa from Rabbi Yehuda Brei Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, Cheresh HaMedaber ve'eno shomea torim lechatchila, that a cheresh who could speak but he can't hear, lechatchila he could be torim. Money, who is that? Lo Rabbi Yehuda v'lo Rabbi Yossi. In that case, it's neither Rabbi Yehuda nor Rabbi Yossi. I Rabbi Yehuda di'eved in lechatchila lo, because Rabbi Yehuda says that only b'di'eved are you yotzei if you can't hear, but lechatchila you wouldn't. And here we're saying that a cheresh could be torim lechatchila. And I Rabbi Yossi di'eved nami lo, and it's certainly not Rabbi Yossi, because Rabbi Yossi says that even if you already did it and didn't hear it, you would not be yotzei. Ella mai Rabbi Yehuda. Rather, it must be that this brisa by the truma. When we're saying you can do it lechatchila even if you can't hear, it must be Rabbi Yehuda v'afilu lechatchila nami. You can even do it lechatchila, which then of course would mean that the Mishnah in Megillah, where we're trying to argue that we're saying that a cheresh shouldn't do it lechatchila, but b'di'eved he can read Megillah. Clearly, that's not going to be Rabbi Yehuda. Ella haditanya. But what do we do with the following brisa? Lo yivarich adam birkas hamazon belibo. Right, a person shouldn't bench without hearing it. Right, but if he did bench without hearing it, he's nonetheless yotzei. Money, who is that? Lo Rabbi Yehuda v'lo Rabbi Yossi. Right, I Rabbi Yehuda, if it's Rabbi Yehuda, ha'amar afilu lechatchila nami. Right, we said that Rabbi Yehuda says that even lechatchila you don't have to hear what you're saying. Vi Rabbi Yossi ha'amar afilu di'eved nami lo. Rabbi Yossi, of course, said that even b'di'eved you would not be yotzei. So what's pshat over here by Birkat HaMazon when we say lechatchila you should hear it, but b'di'eved if you didn't hear it you're yotzei. So la'olam Rabbi Yehuda he. No, so really, this brisa by Birkat HaMazon is Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, va'afilu lechatchila nami. No, I'm sorry. La'olam Rabbi Yehuda he. Really, the brisa by Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, where you say that you can be torim lechatchila, even if you can't hear it, it is Rabbi Yehuda. V'afilu l'chatchila nami. And Rabbi Yehuda's opinion is that even l'chatchila you don't have to hear what you're saying. V'lo kasha. So then what do you do with that brisa from Megillah with the benching, where we say l'chatchila you should hear it, but di'evet, if you don't hear it, it works. Hadidei hadarabe, right? Where he says l'chatchila, it's his own opinion, where he says that you're only yotze if you don't hear it b'di'eved, so that is his Rebbe's opinion, Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, the Tanya, as we learn in a brisa, Am Rabbi Yehuda mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, hakori as shema tzarich she'ashmei le'ozno. If you read Shema, you really should hear what you're saying. Shne'amar, Shema Yisrael Hashem, Shema Yisrael, right? But b'di'eved, if you didn't hear what you're saying, you are yotze. Amar Rabbi Meir said to Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, or to Rabbi Yehuda, who's quoting Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Hareyu Omer asher anochim tzai v'choyom al vavecha, achar kavana salev heinen advarim. Rabbi Meir says that no, you actually don't have to hear what you're saying as long as you have kavana, it is fine. And then, of course, as we said on the previous page, hashta de asis lahachi afilu temer Rabbi Yehuda k'rabei svirle v'lo kasha Rabbi Yehuda ha Rabbi Meir. No, you can even say, so once we have Rabbi Meir to say that l'chatchila you don't have to hear what you're saying, so then you could say that Rabbi Yehuda agrees with Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, his teacher, and says that l'chatchila you should hear what you're saying, but b'di'eved you don't, and therefore the Mishnah in so therefore the Mishnah in Megillah, which says that acheresh b'di'eved would be able to read Kriyat Shema, would be Rabbi Yehuda as well as Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The brisa in Megillah with benching, which says the l'chatchila you should hear what you're saying, but b'di'eved if you don't, it works. That's also Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. The brisa where it says that a cheresh can be torem lichatchila, that is going to be Rabbi Meir, and zeo. If anywhere where we say that you're not Yossi even b'di'eved, that's going to be Rabbi Yossi. Okay, I think we are mostly done with the hard part. So if you guys managed to keep it together up until now, take a deep breath, but not too deep, because we're not yet done. Amar Rav Chizda, Amar Rav Shila. Halacha Rabbi Yehuda sha'amar mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So Rav Chizda says in the name of Rav Shila that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, that l'chatchila you should hear what you're saying, but b'di'eved if you didn't, it's okay. Ve'halacha Rabbi Yehuda, and the halacha is also like Rabbi Yehuda, who says the same exact thing, that l'chatchila you should hear it, but b'di'eved if you didn't, it's okay. Utzricha, and we had to say both. We had to say that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, and that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Di'ashmin halacha Rabbi Yehuda. If we would just say the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, okay. Hava amina afilu l'chatchila. I might have thought that what's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion? Hakores shimav lo shmila azno yotza. I might think that even l'chatchila you don't have to hear what you're saying. So kamash malan halacha Rabbi Yehuda shamim mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. So therefore it says that the halacha like Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, because over there it's clear that l'chatchila you really do have to hear what you're saying. V'yashminan halacha Rabbi Yehuda shamim mishum Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. If you'd only say that the halacha like Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, hava amina tzarich ve'en lo takana. I might think that no, tzarich doesn't just mean that you should, it means that you must. It means that you must hear what you're saying. And if you don't hear that what you're saying, so then you're not yotzei. Kamash malan halacha Rabbi Yehuda, therefore says halacha Rabbi Yehuda, who clearly says that if you read Shema and you don't hear what you're saying, you are yotzei. So between those two, saying that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda and that the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, it's clear that you should hear what you're saying, but if you don't hear what you're saying, it works. Amar of Yosef, says of Yosef, machlokas b'kriyas Shema, that this machlokas is by kriyas Shema, about whether or not you have to hear what you're saying. Aval b'shar mitzvos, and Rashi defines shar mitzvos as shar brachos. By other brachos, diriyakol lo yatsa. Everyone agrees you would have to hear what you're saying. If you don't hear what you're saying, you are not yotze. Tichsiv, as the pasuk says, haskes u'shma Yisrael. So when it says Shema Yisrael, don't think Shema. I know it's confusing. Up until now, we've been thinking Shema, Shema, Shema. No. Haskes u'shma Yisrael, it means pay attention and listen Israel, i.e. whenever you're doing the mitzvos, make sure you pay attention. Right? So by Shema, we have this machlokes about Shema, Shema lo'ozecha, mashe yotzim picha, whatever, that whole thing. And there's machlokes, do you have to hear or not? But by all other brachos, you must hear what you're saying. Meisvei, 1 second, we have a kasha. Lo yivarech adam birkas hamazon belibo, v'mberach yatsa. What about that brisa in Megillah, which says that, a person shouldn't just mouth the words of benching without hearing them, but if he did that, he would be yotzei. So that's a bracha, and we're saying that even if you didn't hear it, you are yotzei. So ela yitmar hachi yitmar. No, if you're gonna state Rav Yosef's opinion, this is how you should say it. Amar Rav Yosef said Rav Yosef machlokes bekriyas Shema. The machlokas is by Kriya Shema Dichsiv Shema Yisrael, because it says Shema Yisrael, and we figure out, do you have to hear what you're saying? Aval b'shar mitzvos divrei hakol yatsa. Everyone would agree that by other mitzvos, by other brachos, even if you didn't hear what you're saying, you would still be yotze. V'aksev askesu Shema Yisrael. But what about the pasuk that says, pay attention and listen, Israel? How would be divrei Torah? So that's talking about divrei Torah. That by divrei Torah, you should be paying attention to what you're saying. Okay, fine. Kara v'lo diktek bos yoseh. So the Gemara says if he read Kriya Shema and he didn't pay attention to the letters, right? He wasn't paying enough attention. He was like mumbling the words or whatever it is. Amr Rabbi Tevi, Amr Rabbi Yoshia, halacha k'divrei shneim lahakol. So Rabbi Tevi says in the name of Rabbi Yoshia that the halacha is like both Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yossi to be mekel, meaning that when it comes to hearing what you're saying, we paskin like Rabbi Yehuda to say that you don't have to hear. If you don't hear what you're saying, you're yotze. And when it comes to mumbling the words, we paskin like Rabbi Yossi to say that even if you mumble them, you're still yotze. Okay, fine. Vam Rabbi Tevi, Amar Rabbi Yoshia. Says once already we mentioned Rabbi Tevi in the name of Rabbi Yoshia, so we mentioned another thing that he said. Ma'idchsiv shalosh heina lo tisbaina. There are three things that you will not be that are not satiated. Sheol v'otzar rechem, right? Sheol, the abyss, the grave, v'otzar rechem, and being unable to have children. And there was one more, at least the way I understood the pasuk. There's one more that the Gemara doesn't mention, which is when it rains, but not enough to actually, provide enough water for the crops. Anyways, so v'chima inyan sheol eitzel rechem. Why do we compare, the grave to the womb? So lo ma'lecha ma'rechem machnis umotzi. Just like a womb accepts and right, it has an input and output. The input being sperm, the output being a child. So af sheol machnis umotzi. Also, the grave has an input and an output. The input, of course, being a dead body. The output being a live body by the resurrection of the dead during the time of Mashiach. And now, the Gemara says a fancy kavachomer. V'lo kavachomer, we can make the following logic. I don't know if I shared with you guys kavachomer, right? When I was in 4th grade, I lost some recess because my teacher asked me what a kavachomer is. Now, I didn't exactly know how to define a kavachomer, but he didn't ask the question clearly. What he was looking for is what's an example of a kavachomer. So then he moved on to the next dude and he says, what's a kavachomer? And the kid said, if I can lift 100 pounds, surely I can lift 50 pounds. And that kid got it right. But I knew an example of a kavachomer. I didn't know how to define a freaking kavachomer. Also, I thought at that point that it was called a kalbach omer, because I had heard about kalbach. I didn't really know what that was either, though. Anyways, so umar rechem shmachnisim bo bachashai motzin mimenu b'kolei kolos. Just like when it comes to if when it comes to a womb that you put some sperm in there without much fanfare, right? Without too much noise and everything, motzin mimenu b'kolei kolos, and yet when the baby is born, it's loud. I guess arguably there's fanfare. There's people around. So sheol shmachnisim bo b'kolei kolos, right? But the grave that you put the dead body into the grave with kolei kolos, crying and all sorts of things like that, enodin shemotziin mimenu b'kolei kolos, then certainly at tchias hamesim it will be a whole lively affair, and you don't want to miss it. So mikan tshuva le'omrim in tchias hamesim in the Torah, and this, my friends, is a response to anybody who wants to argue that tchias hamesim doesn't come from the Torah. You just present them with this argument. All right, friends. I think we're going to stop over here, partially because I didn't get further than this, and well, that's I guess the main reason. But the reason I didn't get further from this was because my head was so ringed out from all that logic today that I hope you guys were able to work out. If you have any questions, let me know. That I figured probably you guys want to take a little bit of a rest right now. So we're going to pick up from here tomorrow, and but tomorrow we got a lot to do, friends. So come prepared. In the meantime, y'all peace out.